Come one, come all, come everyone to Lachie's Mario Kart fortune telling. You there, good sir, come forth. Tell me, what is your favorite Mario Kart? Ah, but hold it right there, for I am receiving the answer through a vision. Payment goes in there. And I've got it! Is it Mario Kart Wii? Oh my god, you're right! Is what the average person says, right? You little con artist? That's right, you're under arrest, Lachie. Mario Kart Wii is everyone's favorite Mario Kart game. Is this how you're recuperating losses from a bet you placed on yourself?
I bet that I won't pick DK Summit as my favorite track. Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Bet you're just mad I didn't get the right Mario Kart. Probably one of those super circuit weirdos. As if. I'm just doing my job here, you little bastard. Now get on the ground. No one understands you.
Mario Kart Wii, everyone's favorite Mario Kart. Everyone knows the courses of this game, and they're some of the most beloved in the series, with 11 out of 16 brought back in 8 Deluxe. They knew what they were doing. But do they deserve as much praise as they often get? Did the glazes of this game need to be taken down a peg or two? Yes, the retros in this game weigh it down horrendously. So let's set a few ground rules here. If you've been around these parts before, you know I don't believe in pure objectivity in these sorts of things, because if I did, DK Summit couldn't be at the top every time. I'm kidding, of course. I'm not allowed to place bets on it anymore.
Look, I swear it'll work this time. If you let me bet again that I won't put DK Summit at the top of the ranking, we can get the money back together.
The way I'm going to be ranking all these courses is the same as last time, considering the track layout, visuals, music, any extra gimmicks, all with a dash of subjectivity. So let's start in the F tier with 4 cheeky little courses. So if you know me, you know I love beach themes and beach tracks, but oh my god, this course nearly turned me.
Mwahaha, it's me, Evil Lachie, and I hate beaches. Cheap beaches, overrated, and I love paying taxes.
That's right. Peach Beach is the worst track in Mario Kart. No, I can't even finish that sentence. GBA Shy Guy Beach is fucking awful. This course is like if the Diamond and Pearl Faithful remakes were a Mario Kart course. It's like this was ripped straight from the GBA, but it obviously wasn't because that was fully 2D. It genuinely took effort to make this in 3D, and that's the most embarrassing part. They fully remade this course, but chose to make it look like this. It's a fucking super flat Minecraft world. And why is the skybox so tiny? It's like a dome, like I'm encased in an insane asylum, forced to play Shy Guy Beach as divine punishment. It pains me to put a beach course at the bottom, but it looks super ugly with its jittery tides, and has virtually no course design to speak of. The stuff it does with the floating islands, truly abominable, somehow bumpy on a flat plane. The shortcut around the island at the end is about the only fun course design to speak of, and even then, the first time they do it, it's a complete waste of time. The only thing it tries is the pirate ship with the gigantic Shy Guys in a way too fucking close skybox, shooting sometimes unavoidable nukes onto the track. Fun. Yeah, I know I recently said I wouldn't mind some SNES courses coming back, but I contend that SNES Mario Circuit 3 single-handedly created the stigma against them that lasted so many years. DS might have introduced retros, but they were basically all shit. This course released in one of the highest selling Mario Kart games and stands next to some actually well-made retros. 2 is technically some. It's super ugly with the flat, piss-tinted sky with horrifically contrasting Lego bricks to complement. This course is like an ex asking for just one more night. No, I can't go back. You had some nice turns, but it's time we move on to better, healthier tracks. We just can't do this anymore. I'm with Bowser Castle 3 now. It's sad to see you like this, man. Just move on. Disgusting. Generic desert track number 35. Mom, do I have to write this one? DS Desert Hills does absolutely nothing with its desert theme. It's possibly one of the worst desert tracks of all time. F it. Desert track tier list. I don't know how they got worse than the N64 and GBA tracks. Those are not a high bar. But yeah, this is the worst one. At least the original Dry Desert had stuff in it. Desert Hills has the unique idea of incorporating all its interesting elements around the track. So you can just kind of look off to the side like, oh, that water would have been a cool element. Oh, a pyramid. That's nice. The angry sun. Not very angry today, apparently. He's just sitting there. I wish he would swoop down and kill me to get me out of this course. Nintendo, you realize that no one will care if you go one game without a mandatory desert track, right? Look, it's not a high bar, but SNES Ghost Valley 2 is better than the other SNES track just for the visuals. It's an empty black void. The falling blocks along the track's borders are slightly charming, tricky spots that get bumped get even harder now, but it's not a hard enough course at all for me to care. It's completely flat, which automatically makes it one of the least interesting courses, but it deserves F tier just for this devious little trick with this ramp and item box here. Escaping the courses that outright offend me, we enter into D tier with the extremely bland ones. There is almost nothing to these tracks, so expect the rankings to be quick. This one might be harsh, but it feels like there is no clear focus for N64 Mario Raceway. Just throwing shit at the wall to see what stuck, which was nothing. And it especially doesn't live up to Wii standards. It is so fucking barren, oh my god! You didn't have to recreate it one-to-one, guys. There are some okay shortcuts, but this track isn't really worth more of my breath. The worst thing it does is just lasting too long, not doing a whole lot. N64 DK's Jungle Parkway was a course that was okay in its original, but once again, just feels outdated. It's such a nothing course, fun enough once over with that one sharp turn and a really atmospheric drive along the river, but oh my god does it get dull and long, with no obstacles to speak of. The cave at the end is about the best it gets, as you can cut the corner at the top, 0 out of 10, it removes the guys throwing shit at you if you go off-road. Wow, the first Nitro track on the list with Luigi Circuit. Yeah, the retros really bottomed this game out. Of course, as the first track of the game, Luigi Circuit isn't offensive in any way, it starts very bland however. It does start to showcase an off-road mushroom jump with an extra item box or a cut through pipes on the side, and a nice demonstration of how taking a turn tighter is just as fast as going wide with the boost panels. It gets some props for that, but it spends most of its time doing basically nothing, which at least isn't too long. N64 Sherbet Land, my 7-year-old self's least favorite course because I couldn't wrap my head around the ice physics. I think D tier might need to be renamed N64 Slander tier. These tracks just do not do a lot for me. 64 being the first 3D Mario Kart meant it was just a whole lot more impressive for these generic track themes to function than it was for them to be good on their own right. I love the penguins and the really harsh corners you can just barely hop over, and thing 3 this map has, it's a fucking circle. Wii Mario Circuit, one of the most whatever, really? You guys want Yoshi Falls? It's a circle, with waterfalls you can drive over to get items. It has jumps and cool track cuts along the waterfalls, so it automatically beats everything in D tier yet because the course has things in it. It even has one cool jump, but it's still a fucking circle. Wii Mario Circuit, one of the most whatever Mario circuits ever. The houses with the rainbow and Peach's castle are adorable, but the biggest thing this course has to offer is the most fraudulent shortcut ever. Either you mushroom while zooming over it and it sends you way too fast so you hit the wall, or you don't make it far enough and get stuck on the grass, forced to use a second mushroom. Either way, a ton of time is wasted in the air and on grass, just straight up mushroom over the grass instead. Leaving D tier blandness, we enter C tier mediocrity, courses that have a balance of good and bad overall. GBA Bowser Castle 3 does the exact same thing as Shy Guy Beach, being completely flat, but the course design is much stronger as it's a late game course from Super Circuit. It's got well placed thwomps, dirt pits on tight turns, guardless bits you can be knocked off of, and lava bubbles popping out of the jumps. It's not good overall, it being flat is atrocious as always, but at least the cool background is somewhat kept intact. N64 Bowser's Castle is one of the best N64 courses ever. It's in C tier. It has enough varying obstacles that it can be fun to drive in with all the thwomps and jumps, but it's ultimately way too long with big empty stretches as always for the 64, and visually it's nothing spectacular with just a bunch of hallways. It feels like one of the least lively Bowser's Castles of all time. It might be eerie and ominous as a result, sure, but is that trade-off worth it? If I wanted dead and empty, I'd just go back and play 64. I don't think I like this game. Yeah, come at me 64 fans. I've pissed off the Tour fans before. You can't be worse than them. They're f***ing insane. GCN Mario Circuit is the best of the Mario circuits in this game, but the bar was pretty low. It's a pretty lively circuit with bumpy, windy, and wavy roads all over, with the charming classic double dash eyes on everything for some reason. Piranha plants, Goombas, chain chomps, and tough spots to hit you, bumps that you should think twice before tricking off of. I don't know, this course has some charm. Nothing that strong or unique though. Moving on to the most unique circuit track in the game, Daisy Circuit. The visuals and beautiful sunset blend so well with the orange color palette of the architecture. It's nice to see a different, city-like harbor area of the Mushroom Kingdom compared to just Peach's castle 100 times. And the Luigi Daisy statues are adorable as hell. There's so much more vibrance in this course based on a Mario character with one of the biggest personalities. It's perfect. I just don't find the track design all that compelling. It's got some cool elements, but it's pretty flat. Not bad for a circuit course, expected to be flat even, but against all the others in this game, it just barely doesn't cut it for the B tier. But it will be forever satisfying to drift through these cones. Finally entering into the upper half of courses where most of the retros have already been discussed. At least there are some up in B, in the tier where we start to get some solid tracks. This one may be basic as hell, but although I didn't rate it that highly at first, I then realized it's a beach course and then put it higher. Jokes aside, GCN Peach Beach feels a bit like an open world adventure with how widely you can traverse the beach. You've got ramps more off to the side, but on the main path you've got the Cataquacks, who are honestly kinda based. Sending you into the air is such a perfect troll move. I love the pure chaos of them just trying to get everyone in that one spot of the beach, smooching you under the phallic rock.
That's a penis!
I hear a lot of good things about GCN DK Mountain, and while solid, it just isn't that fantastic. It has its core concept and essentially nothing more, which is heading down a mountain. The mountain is extremely wide and kinda empty in long stretches with some boulders tumbling around. Dodging the boulders and the Mario Kart bridge are definitely the most exciting parts, otherwise the course design really is just two S-turns slapped back to back. Not bad design, but nothing crazy either, and the half-pipes they added in this Wii version do not add a lot to that. You're better off saving time avoiding them unless you need the items. Overall, it's got some big twists and a fun bumpy ride down the mountain, but if you want a better DK Mountain descent course, do I have the track for you?
Not one I'd put at the top of the ranking though.
Wario's Gold Mine was another Mario Kart Wii childhood horror because of the super tight, unguarded rails everywhere. Not just that, there are minecarts crossing all around you, and the super floaty physics of this game means you can really badly miss your jumps on accident or get sent off the track. Oddly though, that risk adds to the fun of this course, both a blessing and a curse. It's also got some killer visuals. I love the minecarts dashing all over the track all around you, over a whole fucking gold mine city. How do you even get out of there though? Do you just die if you leave? GCN Waluigi Stadium is slept on. It's just pure dirt bike arena tricks galore. The 8 Deluxe version may have stepped that up a bit, but the super floaty physics of Wii threw the thrills of this course so many favors, with tricks and half-pipe ramps that weren't in Double Dash, a perfect pick specifically for Wii. Though it might start to feel like a bit of a one-trick pony with its constant jump ramps, it's not bad, but you can only shake the controller so many times. It's also got a bit of a brown overload visually. Moo Moo Meadows is honestly such a solid second course. While it isn't anything crazy because of that positioning, it balances its early game cozy setting and relative simplicity with some interactivity with its theme. The cows crossing the course, particularly getting in the way in later laps, add some fun weaving around them, or you can just send them flying as you drive under them. Zooming through the open farm fields is a really nice option too, makes it feel like more of a big open farmland, especially with the moles in the last area. There are natural integration of even more hazards. DS Peach Gardens sends you around a bunch of hedges that constantly feel like a maze, especially when it opens up to a big ass maze. The flower beds, in this version at least, are really well placed and make for a deceptively tricky course, letting you weave through tighter gaps on sharp angles for small time saves. I will say I think I'd riot if they somehow ruin this course by having you go around a charming backwards final— what the f*** is that? Now reaching into the top 12 with A and S tier, it's wild we only have one retro track left. We interrupt this segment with a special program, How to Make a Good Desert Course with Lachie LN. Start with desert. Boring. Empty. Yellow. Bad desert. Put thing in desert. Fun desert. Thing in it. Not boring. Dry ruins. Mastered this formula that other desert courses simply can't fathom. Doctors hate him! If you actually design a compelling track, maybe by putting something as basic as a cool ruined temple getting filled with sand in the center, maybe some strategically falling pillars, some harsh turns even, you get a good course! Desert Hills jump scare! Ah! Having your lava level center around a volcano instead of Bowser or something is just refreshing. And Grumble Volcano goes all the way with that idea, with the fire spitting down at the track and the fire snakes carefully placed in some of the narrowest spots. But most excitingly, the track crumbles away as you progress through the laps, leading to some very small squeezes as you avoid flying off the unguarded sections. The track layout itself isn't anything too crazy, hell, the tunnel part's even a bit boring, but the gimmick and visuals carry a solid enough course design quite well. DS Delfino Square is a super standout of the retros. It's got consistently varied track design first off, with a roundabout, split alleys in tight buildings, a pier with market stalls and a shortcut through another alley, driving along the waterside and flipping off a bridge. The music only adds to the scenery as well. This course is so delightfully upbeat with all the piantas everywhere. It feels lived in with shop fronts, markets, the clothes drying across the streets. It feels like the citizens are really out there enjoying the race. Moonview Highway is pure chaos, pure evil. A traffic course with dense traffic with one of the tightest, windiest roads I've ever seen. It wouldn't be classic Moonview Highway if you couldn't get absolutely blindsided around a corner driving in the wrong lane. It further builds on the traffic concept by introducing the titular highway after you get some gorgeous views, entering into the big city with cars piling up more and more as the laps progress. They erratically change lanes, but the course incentivizes you to do the same, with the item boxes zooming alongside the traffic, with dash panels to further encourage utter recklessness. Not to mention the bomb cars. Who the f is manufacturing these? Ooh, that was a close one. The only thing holding it back is the relatively plain course design once you get to the highway. The gimmick certainly speaks strong enough for itself, but it's not quite enough to climb higher on the list. For the penultimate A-tier course, we have Bowser's Castle, and honestly, the best damn Bowser Castle course in the whole series. I'll admit, it isn't all too original in the things it does, but it pulls in so many elements from previous Bowser Castles and just has them harmonized so well. You've got the tight turns you always expect, combined with well-placed thwomps to make turns as tough as possible. I love the one around this tight, blocky bend with a fully unguarded drop into lava, right where most people will drift out too far or get sent off. But it doesn't get carried away with just rough turns. They took the oddly frozen Bowser statue from Double Dash and gave him a pulse, shooting these sick bouncing fireballs down a lane with half pipes and ramps across it to dodge the fireballs. It creates a terrifying face-to-face, almost boss battle against Bowser to get past him. Feels very in the spirit of old school Bowser fights. Then there's just everything else. The risk-reward balance along this grate with fire geysers, fire bars, more fire geysers you can trick off of, and a wavy carpet in the opening. It does so much and does it all super well. Mushroom Gorge might be one of the hardest courses for a Mushroom Cup track, chucking you right in the deep end of maintaining balance chained over countless mushrooms. It's so mean to newbies, just throwing them off constantly. It's so real for that. Had fun frolicking through Moo Moo Meadows? Now bounce over the void. Jokes aside, it's a pretty simple course but with a lot of originality, slowly ramping up how many mushrooms you have to bounce off of in a row. Not much else to say other than super fun. Now for the S tier, our top 6, the best of the best courses that execute their ideas perfectly with constant variety and seamless, natural evolution of their ideas throughout. Toad's Factory was a course I never quite understood the hype behind. Like, sure, it's good, solid even, but S tier? But what's actually wrong with it? It's a Mushroom Cup finale course. It's not super hard, but it certainly doesn't hold much back. The aesthetic is a perfect concept. It's handmade for Mario Kart after all, driving through the factory making item boxes. With countless conveyor related gambits and moving factory parts, it just does whatever it feels like. It balances high risk with high rewards constantly, having you gamble for item boxes the whole time as part of its design, dodging presses and mud all the way, all kinds of OH&S violations, like a real factory worker. You must simply become one with the machine. Koopa Cape! Koopa Cape. Koopa Cape! Koopa Cape. This is the real Koopa Cape, before they continually massacred the color palette and removed all the fun. Underwater driving? Any course can give you that. Dashing down the water rapids in an underwater tube, balancing the gain of speed on the rushing water while dodging lightning, that's where this course shines. They go all the way with the natural build-up for the water gimmick, as the best courses do, as the track gets narrower and narrower, funneling people down the water. You can stay away at first, but are gradually forced to enter the madness. And it was beautiful. Rest in peace, King. Coconut Mall. Coconut Mall! Yeah, the BCP fucked up a lot, I'm still mad about it. But at least I can go back and play good Coconut Mall in 2 other games. Mario Kart Wii, however, provides the best of all with its physics and Mii's everywhere. It feels like you're absolutely tearing up a real-life shopping mall, and Obama's just fucking here for it. Hell, he'll run you down in the car park. This course is packed with obstacles, as a busy mall should be, with fountains to snag items off of, switching escalators that would probably fuck over real customers really badly, and the alternating dash panels around moving cars. It's a brilliant execution of a simple theme. Have you ever wondered how they get those damn cars inside the shopping center? Do they drive them? How cool would it be to drive around inside here? And this is that childhood dream. It's iconic for a damn reason. Yeah, this course was also made ugly as hell recently, but once again, the original is simply gorgeous. It feels like another childhood joy of climbing around in tree houses, up in the treetops, as it sends you swirling all around one with giant friendly wigglers, running through leaf piles, little secret hideaways. It couldn't be more awe-inspiring unless it was drenched in a warm autumn color palette. Holy crap, this course is beautiful. It somehow combines this theme with hazard and course variety too, with said wigglers and really tough, unguarded turns on the ledges of branches between more distinct sections. It even features the mystical Jack-Off Bridge of legend. Probably removed it later to give it a fucking deep clean. Now for the infamous Rainbow Road, possibly the most infamous course in all of Mario Kart. You think Mario Kart Wii is for casuals? I don't think I ever saw a guest at my house get higher than last in this gauntlet. What the fuck were they thinking? These turns, the way it twists you nearly 45 degrees during them is vicious, turning you into a human meteor if you slip off. That difficulty, the constant gambling for boost pads and shortcuts, oh my god, it's deliciously devious. I love it all. It truly made this course my childhood trial of skill. I knew once I could do this course perfectly, I wasn't a kid anymore. And doing it perfectly, there's no other course that comes close to the vibes of Wii Rainbow Road. The giant earth below you, the texture of the Rainbow Road, finally perfected with a beautiful translucent rainbow gradient. It's got a giant star cannon to take it in for a second before you're flipped over the course split in half. And that music, it's melodical bliss. I can't get over this course, and so it's certainly deserving of the #1 course in Mario Kart Wii. By the way, if you become a member, you can see my future Mario Kart ranking videos early. See? I told you. I'll take my money now. Hey man, wait a second. I don't think these numbers add up. Where did you say DK Summit was again? I plead the 5th. I bet my house on this shit! I can't lie to save my life or to reimburse countless fraud victims. DK Summit / Snowboard Cross will always be my favorite in this game. Where do you think my love of it came from? The only way I could have got out of yapping about this course again is by staying silent, but if I'm forced to speak, the truth will be heard. I know this isn't the favorite course from this game, despite being quite beloved in its own right, but it's my favorite course from this game. It does so much, so well, that I don't think that should be too unbelievable. I hate the mandated snow courses just as much as the desert ones. They're bland and lazy and complete filler. Your only idea was ice? What, did you ask Frankston for course ideas? But DK Summit is not just any old snow level. It has a reason to be a snow level. It's an extreme sports snow skiing mountain and runs with the Wii's new gimmicks in a way no other course does, designing the track intricately around the half pipes and trick mechanics with constantly changing jumps and ramps. From the unparalleled thrills of flying high above the mountain and getting a view down, to dodging and weaving through Shy Guys just trying to enjoy a day out with their families. Even down to the smallest of details, like the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the music as you rocket up the ski lift through the opening gates, it's just got so much charm. And this one, although it doesn't have a fitting statue of DK like 8 has, it does have a really moody, murky fog throughout the stage that dissipates more in each lap. As if you're becoming more confident, the stage opening itself up with each subsequent venture down the mountain, emulating that progressive, endless thrill-seeking as you dare to take on the harder flips as you learn the route. It nails its theme so perfectly in that way, in every way, and it'll always hold a special place in my heart above all the others. Until you return again, DK Summit, it may be a while, but you'll always be my favorite.
Well, isn't that just fucking adorable?